What's up, everyone? Welcome to another fantastic episode of SuperGen's Nintendo Nation. This is where we tell you all about the Nintendo news that you need to know. As always, we're going to kick things off with the shout-outs. This week, as always, at Game Over Greggy, my boy Greg Miller. Tweet him this video, tweet him my handle. I'm still waiting for a response from him or anyone to have done it because I'll get notified when it happens. But just please do that for me and make me happy.
I don't think a single person's done it yet.
They haven't, and they probably won't. And I'm calling you out because you all suck. But
I want to see what happens when it actually does. Like
when it happens, I'll be so happy, and trust me, it'll be brought up here on the video, whatever the next episode is.
Of course.
I had one
Episode
more
200 by that point.
Oh, I'm sure it will be. God. I had one more, and I can't remember who it is, so I'm so sorry. Oh yes, I do. Hold on, actually, it's another YouTuber, another YouTube channel. The name of the channel is Freelance Nintendo.
Oh, okay.
And it's like
never heard of him.
Absolutely incredible. He's at FL_Nintendo, so almost like Florida Nintendo. But yeah, FL_Nintendo. And check out his YouTube channel. He's only got maybe like 10 videos up. He's already got like 2,000 subscribers or something. Every video gets like...
Oh, he's doing something, right?
Yeah, I know. Every video gets like 8,000 views. And he's got one on Metroid that's got like almost 60,000 views. And all of his things are... These things that he's doing is called franchise reports. And so he takes one franchise of Nintendo and just talks all about it and like where it's heading and all this stuff.
Oh, that's neat.
And so like the one on Metroid was like, hey, this is how Metroid started. This is where it is. He goes into like all like the sales details and like whether or not it's going to happen in the future.
Yeah.
If it's viable for Nintendo. All this stuff. His latest one was on Star Fox, and it was so interesting that it was just like... Everything this dude was saying, I'm like, oh my god, this is so cool. Like, I never knew this. Like, I didn't know like how much like Star Fox apparently is like one of Miyamoto's like favorite franchises that he's ever worked on. Like,
yeah,
he loves,
I've heard
like,
that.
Like
I've
that
heard
and Pikmin, I guess, like are ones that he really wants to keep going, and he wants those to keep being innovative like they've always been.
Yeah,
and I'm like, that's so neat that it's like that franchise like he wants to keep changing on. So like more than Mario, more than Zelda, like more than anything. And I'm like, that's really neat, and just like all about like how it's going, like its sales figures and everything, and like kind of common knowledge now is like Metroid actually isn't a very high seller for Nintendo.
It's not.
A lot of the games, yeah, it never has been. Even Super Nintendo, which is like held as one of the best games ever, was not a high seller.
Which is why they took so long to start making another game.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like Super Metroid came out. The N64 was already out, I think, when Super Metroid came out. Like Super Metroid came out right at the end, right at the end of the Super Nintendo's life cycle, very similar to like a Twilight Princess kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's like we didn't get Super Metroid on N64, you know?
Right.
So I'm like, that's super interesting. So like everybody had already moved on to the newer systems, which is why no one was picking up games for their older system. You know what I mean? They'd be like, you just bought your PS4. Are you going to buy an exclusively PS3 game? Probably not, because you want to play everything on your PS4. You know what I mean?
Unless it's Tales of Xillia 2, because I did just that.
Yeah, so there you go. And I think in a time now, it's more viable.
Yeah.
But like, if you were a kid who like
yeah,
didn't know, you know what I mean? And it's like for you as an adult, as like a 20-year-old adult, like okay, that's valid.
Yeah.
But then like to the 15-year-old kid whose parents just bought him this new system for Christmas, he's taking his $60 to go get something for that new system.
Yeah,
you know
for
what
sure.
I mean?
For sure.
So very interesting. But yeah, check him out. Freelance Nintendo is the name of his channel. Absolutely awesome. But yeah, FL_Nintendo. That's probably the more important shout out than Greg Miller. But
good work.
Do the Greg Miller one. Because I really appreciate it. Make me happy. All right. Speaking of Metroid,
he's gonna watch it and be like, "What the hell am I watching?"
I know he's gonna be like, "Who is this guy in his head?" And I can't take it. Why are they playing random Super Nintendo games in the background? That's right, Chrono Trigger. But yeah. So to kick things off with the news this week, Pokemon and Metroid. Someone was talking. One of the dudes at Nintendo, I forget what his position or his name was, but was interviewed by someone and was saying like, yeah, you know, Nintendo, they were talking about the future of the Switch and everything. Like, oh yeah, 2017 is a great year. You know, we've got all this stuff coming out. We've already had Zelda.
Yeah.
We've got, you know, Mario. We've got Mario Rabbids. We've got Fire Emblem. We've got this, that, Xenoblade. You know, all these crazy things. I'm like, that's cool. And he's talking, you know, 2017 is going to be a great year for Nintendo. And then, like, it's going to be awesome even when it leads into next year. Because he's like, next year, you know, we're getting awesome things. You know, like, we're getting Yoshi and Kirby and Metroid and Pokemon. And then, like, he kind of just like kept going on with the interview. And so everyone was kind of like, whoa, hold back. Like, next year we're getting awesome things like Metroid, Pokemon, Yoshi, and Kirby, like all that. And so...
No way.
By far,
no way.
This is not a confirmation in any way, shape, or form.
It's not. No.
But like, it's cool that like this dude was like, oh yeah, like next year, like this is all the stuff we're getting, and he was like so nonchalant about like this is just like common knowledge, like this is happening, and I'm like, Okay, cool.
Well,
I'm looking forward to
the
it.
rumor.
But
The
yeah,
rumor
right.
is that Metroid Prime 4 is being developed by Next Level Games and the creator of Metroid, and
Okay.
that they started on this game right after they finished Federation Force.
Okay.
So it's basically the same team that made Federation Force,
Sure.
but it's a full-fledged, full sequel to
Right.
to the Metroid Prime trilogy. So Federation Force came out summer last year.
16, yeah. So it's
So
already
this,
been a year.
This game is maybe a year in development.
Yeah.
There's no way it's next year.
Yeah, I personally really don't think so.
Pokemon, I think, will be.
Oh, I don't think Pokemon will be.
See,
only for the fact that dude whose name I can never ever remember, but he goes, yeah, he's like, we just want to tell you this now, but be aware this could be more than a year away.
Right, but
like,
by more than a year, I mean, a year is next June.
yeah,
So more than a year could be next November.
I suppose that's true.
And who is it I saw? It might have been someone on NeoGAF, but I saw someone said name it Pokemon Stars with a Z and bridge the gap between generations because Star,
and
Sun
Z,
and Moon, Z, X, and Y.
That'd be really cool. I don't know. And what I want, and I know what everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people want is to have a fully open Pokemon game where it's it goes from Kanto all the way to the whatever islands, I forget what they are in Pokemon Sun. But so you have Kanto to Kalos and then whatever the Hawaiian Islands are. Would be so cool. You know what I mean? To have everything in between.
Yeah.
But it's the problem with that, and I think I talked about this before, is when you have all these things, you have these gyms and stuff. It's you go through your first 8 gyms in Kanto, and then you go to Johto, and it's by the end of all 8 of those gyms, your Pokemon are all at level 70.
Right.
So you're going into Johto, where the first trainer, the first battle or first gym, and they're battling with level 14 stuff, and you're at level 75. Are you kidding me? You know what I mean?
They would have to be things would have to be scaled. to
Yeah,
your level.
absolutely. And so that's kind of the tricky part. And what Ryan, I think, was saying, so yeah, I definitely think this was last time. But what Ryan was saying was something oh yeah, well, you can do that. But then it's when you get to that new region, they lock all your Pokemon. And then you have to pick,
over,
and then you have to pick something new. And I'm I guess that's cool. But then it's if that's the case, and then we get to that point, I just want to be all right, then just release them all for Virtual Console on Switch.
Yeah.
And just let me buy them all separately on Switch.
Yeah,
Just
100%.
do that then. Because it's that's really stupid. Or release them all for the DS Virtual Console, which they're kind of already almost there.
Right.
Because, you really can play every single one on a single DS now. You just have to get the cartridges and stuff. But it's now we're almost at that point where you can play every generation of Pokemon game on one single system.
Which is very cool.
Which is neat. That's incredible. You can have a DS and literally it can be your Pokemon machine. That's really cool.
Dedicated Pokemon machine.
Exactly, and that's fine. I'm sure there's plenty of people like that. But I just find it interesting that going back to the original story of this dude saying, "Oh yeah, Pokemon, we're getting cool titles next year like Pokemon and Metroid," and I'm that's cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it gets me excited. But then it's also going kind of tying it back to Star Fox is remember when Star Fox showed me a mode? And he goes, "Yeah, we're working on a new Star Fox, and we waited so long to delay it because we only wanted to have a year in between the announcement and stuff like that." And then it took 2 years before that game even came out. You know, it had an additional another year and a half of development. And it's Metroid is so in that same boat. Where Metroid is not coming for a while.
I agree, but 2018 could be a good year. I mean, obviously,
I think so.
Yoshi, Kirby. I think Animal Crossing is going to be next.
I think it's going to be great. I think there's going to be Animal Crossing. I think that I have another story in here too about farming games, which I guess I'll just jump to right now. But Natsume is very supportive of farm sims, apparently.
Yeah. Harvest Moon.
They were, and so they do Harvest Moon, which I know we've kind of gotten into before, I think, where, Natsume now owns Harvest Moon. So the Harvest Moon games you're playing now and, recently on the 3DS are not the Harvest Moon games of old that you remember.
Right.
That is not developed by the same one who is, what are they called? Marvelous?
Marvelous.
Okay, so Marvelous developed the old Harvest Moon games, and then Natsume published and localized them all.
Yeah.
So now that some with the names or whatever, not contract, but maybe contract. I don't know. Licensing. That's what I want to say. So licensing ran out or whatever. So now Natsume has the title Harvest Moon because that's their game.
Yeah.
And in Japan, it was always called something else. So then Marvelous kept the Japanese name, but Harvest Moon has been since given to Natsume.
And they translated it more loose or more directly now, which is
yeah,
why we
which
have
now
Story
of Seasons,
Yeah.
right? So if you want Harvest Moon, old Harvest Moon made by the same team, you want Story of Seasons, not Harvest Moon. So Natsume
published by
now,
Xseed.
exactly, and so now Natsume new Harvest Moon, not old, well, also old Harvest Moon, but not making the games you remember from old Harvest Moon.
Yeah.
Says that they're very supportive of farm simulators, which is cool, and they're expecting to see more stuff like Stardew Valley and like Harvest Moon titles and stuff like that.
And they have a new one coming,
which is great.
Yeah, there is a new actual Harvest Moon.
Like Harvest
coming.
Moon, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is like awesome, really cool, and I can't wait to see like Story of Seasons on Switch. Like,
right.
That'll be really neat. And
Which
I know
the most recent one just came out in February, Trio of Towns for the 3DS.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
I imagine that the next one that they do will be on Switch.
It has to be.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool because I know personally a lot of farming simulator fans. I happen to be dating one of them.
Yeah,
and
same.
so she is so excited for Stardew Valley on Switch.
Yeah.
Like, she can't wait.
I know
so.
Jessica's waiting for it too.
Yeah,
on the Switch.
so it's like that's gonna be really cool. So I can't wait for that to happen. So that way
she has
we
it
can
on
kinda
PC,
go.
but she wants to.
I know.
play
See, and I bought it
Yeah.
for Maggie on PS4 as well, just so she can try it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, I don't want you to get like so far into this that like
you don't
your
wanna
whole
restart.
world is on PS4,
Yeah.
and then you get the Switch, and then it's like you got to restart. So I'm like, you're only getting a taste here, and then I took it in.
That's why we haven't really jumped into Overcooked yet, because I know Jessica.
I know,
wants
and I
to
can't
play
wait for
that,
Overcooked,
and she wants to play that on Switch. So
Yep.
we
I can't wait
just
for
haven't jumped into
that.
that.
There's so many indie games coming to Switch, and it's like I went back and watched that like Nindies video recently.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, so many of these games aren't even out yet, and like no one's even talking about them anymore.
What was
and
the
I'm
one?
Like, come on.
What was the one like the dude like he was dead, and like you go back and forth between the living world and the dead world, and like you're trying to help people who are dead.
What?
It was in that Nindies video.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I forget, but it looked like a Tim Burton type of a cartoon.
Okay.
I forget what the name of it does, but it looked so good.
Okay.
It was.
That's
in
awesome.
That,
I'm
it was
all
in that
about these
Nindies
indies,
video.
man.
It was in that Nindies video.
Okay, maybe I'll have to go rewatch it for like a 15th time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you missed it.
Yeah, I probably did. Yeah, usually when I watch YouTube, I'm doing like 12 other things, so YouTube's just on in the background. All right, so next up, number 2, we got Dragon Ball Fighters. Now, did you hear about all the hullabaloo?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Dragon Ball Fighter. Is it Fighter Z or
I
is
have
it
no
Fighters?
idea.
I'm
I
pretty
think it's
sure
Fighters.
it's Fighters.
I think it's
'Cause that makes
Fighters.
sense because then Fighter Z sounds like it's a person. But I remember I was at work and I was one guy was there and he was talking about it and he's like, yeah, man, like. That's so weird that they like put the Z in there because now it's like that game Blaze Blue.
Mm-hmm.
We always joke around and we say, "Oh, it's Blaz Blue" because they didn't put the E. So I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, dude, there's that fighting game Blaz Blue." And also, when people get so pissed and like, "No, it's Blaze Blue," just because the E isn't there doesn't mean it's not pronounced that way. And I'm like, "All right,
That's why it's
fine."
Fighter
I'm like,
Z to me.
Then they could have put in the E. Why did they not put in the E if they wanted it to be Blaze? So.
Blaze it up.
Not my fault.
Yeah.
You know, 420 blazing. Come on. But so yeah, so this Dragon Ball Fighters. The thing that's going on with that is that it's coming to Xbox One and PS4.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's all in a hoopla on the Switch about like why isn't it coming to Switch?
Yeah.
Especially when we're getting not Raging Burst, but whatever the other one is, Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, it was Xenoverse.
Xenoverse 2. Thank
Yeah.
you. We are getting Xenoverse 2 later this year. And it's like, cool, that's a Dragon Ball Z fighting game. Clearly, it can be done.
Right.
And so then people were shouting out to Bandai Namco, who I think does those games.
It is.
And shouting them out and be like, hey, why is this not coming to Switch? Like, what's going on? And so they said it's not an issue with the power or the hardware of the Switch. They said the Switch absolutely 100% can handle it.
Yeah, no way that
It's
it
just
couldn't.
like we just haven't seen the fan development yet for Switch to do it. And it's like we've been, producing all this stuff. We've been making the game for so long that we didn't even know if the Switch was going to take off.
Right.
And it's like, why would we waste our resources and our time developing for a system that's going to be DOA as soon as it launches?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
There's a movement on Twitter trying to get enough
so that's
support.
what I'm leading
Yeah.
into here is, and there's like tons of videos on YouTube and all this stuff, but it's like, I would love to have Dragon Ball Fighters on Switch.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool, and that would actually make me buy it. I will not buy it for PS4,
Right.
Because I just don't do fighting games really on my PS4, except for Injustice, but that's more because it's superheroes, not because it's a fighting game.
Yeah.
But the Switch, I don't know, for some reason playing fighting games on the Switch is a lot more fun to me. I don't know.
Right.
But it's like that'd be so cool to play Dragon Ball Fighters on there, and so they said if they see enough fan interaction and like fan like cryouts, I guess.
Yeah.
For this game, that they'll port it.
Right.
And obviously, it won't come out as the same time as the PS4 next
Right,
month,
yeah, it'll
but that's
definitely
fine.
be
But hey, like
couple
6 months
after,
later,
yeah.
like that's cool. So absolutely, if you are a Dragon Ball Z fan at all and you want this game for your Switch, go out, tweet at somebody, like do all this stuff. There's so many polls.
Yeah, I
and
saw that
so
you
many
tagged
retweets.
the SuperGen
Yeah, I
one in
did
the,
because I wanted us to.
and I
tweet
retweeted
too.
it out,
Yeah,
so,
exactly. So check
yeah.
our Twitter feed. Check my personal Twitter feed at Faluka, which you should know already because you're tweeting at Game Over Greg Miller.
Hopefully.
I hope so. So go check all those. Find that same tweet, retweet it. I think it was like directly like at Namco Bandai or Bandai Namco, whatever they're called now. They've switched their name around too many times.
They switched it a few times. It's Bandai Namco now, though.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, it's directly at them. So make sure you go do that if you want that game. If you don't want that game, then by all means, I don't care.
silent.
Yeah. Or you can do it anyway for the people who do want the game. You still don't have to buy it, even if it's there. What's one click? Come on. Get off your ass. Number 3, we have Super Mario Odyssey. And I guess they confirmed, which is kind of a big range, but is going to be 30 to 50 moons per kingdom.
Which is a lot.
And Andy kind of brought up that it's like, yeah, that's a lot, but like so many of them are going to be so easy to find, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, sure. Like, of course it would, because we even saw it in like the demo or whatever that the Treehouse was doing.
Yeah.
Where it's like you have,
you
just walk up and talk to
dude,
somebody, and it's like, oh hey, thanks for talking to me, man. I really need to talk to somebody. Here's a moon. Like, and I'm like, these can't be the stars because it's like they're so easy. But then you have things later in the levels called the Grand Moon, and that like teleports you out of the level and like all that stuff.
So I'm assuming there's probably anywhere from 5 to 8 Grand Moons per kingdom, which will port you out.
Right.
And then all the other little ones are just bonus. I'm assuming.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
And
for,
like you can like find random ones and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's cool. But there are going to be some that are going to be so hard to find. Excuse me. That it's like it's gonna be worth it. Like, yeah, you're gonna have a few easy ones, but then you're gonna have a few like impossible ones.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's really cool. And so that gets me really excited because I'm like, I absolutely adore like collecting stuff. That's why like I'm on a mission now to get all 900 Korok seeds and everything.
Good luck.
It's like I know, right? So yeah, I'm like trying to go through and do this. So I'm like a collectaholic where I just love games. Like Ubisoft games are some of my favorites. Where it's like, hey, just go here, do this, go to this point, check this point out, you know, whatever. And I
used to like those, but
like
I fell off from the Ubisoft formula probably like 2 or 3 Assassin's Creeds ago. Like it just got to be too much.
Sure, Assassin's Creed I most definitely fell off of because Black Flag absolutely killed. Well, Assassin's Creed 3 really killed it because that game blows ass. That game's terrible. And then
but like the feathers, the fucking slices
I
of
love
the
that.
apple.
I did that.
Like, I don't do those.
I run 100% of Assassin's Creed 2 twice. I did it once for 360, once for PS3.
Yeah.
So I absolutely adored Assassin's Creed 2. That is one of like
it was probably
my
the best
favorite
one
game.
in the franchise.
I think
so
that's the
far.
best game so far. Yeah, I think Origins has a chance to compete with that.
But I still don't go out and collect everything. Like I haven't done a full 100% collectathon since probably Banjo-Kazooie or Donkey Kong 64.
Dang, yeah, that's intense. But I'm also like. Oh, okay. You're just agreeing. Okay.
Silently agreeing.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God. So back to our original thing we had to BJ's on about trophies. Whereas like I want to platinum stuff. And it's like in order to platinum most games, like oh my God, the Lego games.
God, that was an original one. That was the original BJ.
I know that's very close to the originals.
OG.
I think that's the number one. That's when we were talking about Bloodborne.
Yeah, that was our first
that's
one.
like one of our best ones too.
It's our most viewed one.
Yeah, check that out. That'll probably be linked somewhere in here, probably. But anyway, so it's like going into all those trophies and like wanting to do that, like the Lego games and stuff like that, and then I have like in Lego Batman 3, I have 100%. Like did everything you could possibly do. So did the main story, bought the season pass, got all of like the little side levels and stuff. They had like an Arrow level, they had a Suicide Squad level, all these things. Had to do it. Went in, found every gold brick, every red brick, paid all the money that you had to pay. Like rebuilt Gotham City. Like did everything you could literally possibly do. Did all the races.
That's intense.
Everything they wanted you to do in that game, I did, so I could platinum it and complete it. And it just that made me feel so happy, especially since it's Batman. And this is like something else that Greg Miller said is like, I platinum games that are good and worth platinuming because then it shows, hey, I am so dedicated to this game that I went through and I did everything and I did do all the achievements or trophies or whatever. And it's like to show people, yes, this game is good and it's worth doing that. If the game is shit, it's like then I'm not going to platinum it and I'm not going to worry about the trophies because it's like, why am I going to spend time grinding in these games that are crap?
Right.
You know what I mean? If it's a good game though and it's worth it, like Horizon or the Lego games to me or the Batman Arkham Knight.
I got close to Horizon
and like all that stuff. So yeah, I still need to beat it. I'm still only like 15 hours in.
I need to do the hunting grounds, the proving grounds, and that's all I need to do. Or whatever they're called. I just haven't done any. I did the first section, like the first 3, and then the next 3, and then I just stopped doing them.
Okay. Yeah, I need to go back and do like.
But literally,
a lot
that's
more.
the
I
only
still have to go
thing
with it.
between me and the platinum.
Yeah, that's really cool. So it's like that. I'll eventually go back and do, and it's like all that kind of stuff is like that's worth it. So like these big collectibles. So getting back to kind of the original story of Mario Moons, that's why I wish they had achievements. But what makes me even happier and what I'd be okay with, I think the reason I want achievements is so that I have a way to log all of the awesome shit that I do in games.
Yeah, you want your pipes.
And it's like it's not even that, but it's like the Korok seeds.
Yeah,
is like there's no booklet that you can flip that says, oh yeah, you have all 900 Korok seeds. You know what I mean? So it's like when I get 900,
you get a little golden turd.
I have the golden turd that proves that I have 900 Korok seeds. All right, and it's like cool. I get that, and that's like a stamp in the book.
Yeah,
but it's like in Mario, I bet you there's going to be a way where you click on a world, you click on like the Jungle Kingdom or whatever it's called, and you're going to have a little notebook about the Jungle Kingdom.
And it tells you, like,
and
what
it's like, hey, here's
yeah.
moon number 1. You have that, and you saw even the date pop up when you collected the
Yeah,
moon.
so they're
it's
clearly-
gonna say, here's
it's
the moon,
cataloging it.
here's this.
Yeah.
And then the next moon number 2 is going to be this. Moon number 3 is going to be blank because you haven't found that one
Right.
yet. But 4 is going to be here, and they're going to have all the grand moons across the bottom or something of that nature, or all the grand moons going down the side or something.
And we don't know how these worlds are connected yet, right? They haven't showed it, or did, or
yeah,
did
so
they?
the way the worlds are all connected are that each
That might have been
one
something
of
I
the,
might have missed.
Yeah, so each one of the worlds is you take your the name of the ship is the Odyssey.
Yeah.
And so you take that and you fly to each of these different kingdoms.
So the ship is the hub.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can go in the ship, which is cool, and you can actually decorate it with like a bunch of different stuff. So you can go, it's like what you can spend your coins on and stuff, in addition to the outfits, which I think the purple coins are what you buy the outfits for. And the outfits some outfits are required to get further into
Well, you
worlds
can
that
only
you're
spend
in.
the coins that you gather in the world that you're in.
Correct. So
Yeah.
like in New Donk City, you have the purple
The purple
Pauline
one.
coins.
Yeah, and then
so you have to get
and
the
the
Mexican,
Mexican one,
yeah,
it's
and
like the little
it's the
triangle
triangles.
pesos.
And then there's like something else in like the jungle world is like the nuts or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yep.
So it's like you go and you have to collect all those, and then only that can be spent as currency towards whatever suit you want to get there.
Right.
And then you can buy other stuff. You can buy like souvenirs
Yeah.
with gold coins, and because there are
Which
gold
are
coins
spent
everywhere.
everywhere, yeah.
Yeah. And so you can use the universal gold coins, and then you can decorate the Odyssey with all that stuff. So it's kind of like its own, like your own little collectible world.
Yeah.
That's cool, whatever. So then you take the Odyssey, takes you to each level, but each one of the kingdoms they're all tied together because Bowser is planning for this grand wedding.
Right.
And so each one of the worlds Bowser has gone to get something for the wedding. So it's like in the jungle world, that's where he went to get like the flowers or the bouquet or something. And then, he went to the Day of the Dead world to get something from there. And then he went over here to get something from there.
Yeah.
And so that's how they're kind of all. So I wonder if this game is going to be more of like a little bit of an investigation thing. Probably not.
Probably
but
not,
like
yeah.
as far as the story goes, Cappy will be like, oh, Mario, he had to get a bouquet of something. Let's go to the jungle world. Oh, Mario, he had to get such and such a thing. Let's go to the dead world. You know what I mean? And then that's what's going to lead you. So
Right.
like that's how the story is going to progress. Is like Cappy really will do all of the discovering for you, and you're just kind of along for the ride. Which in a Mario game, what more do you want?
Right.
You know what I mean?
just hope
So-
we do see an appearance from the Mushroom Kingdom. Like
We absolutely will, because
Yeah.
everything else is called the kingdom, and I think the final world is going to be called the Mushroom Kingdom,
yeah.
and that's where Bowser's getting married. I think Bowser is getting married in the Mushroom
Right.
Kingdom.
I just want to go into the castle and jump into a painting for old time's sake.
I would love for him to do that. Or if you go into the castle and it's the same
And it's the
castle,
exact same layout.
and you have to go
Yes,
up, go to the
please,
left, you have to go all the way up the
please.
stairs, go to the left, walk through the Bowser
Please.
door, and then there's a big Bowser painting as you run towards, or it's a Peach painting, and as you run towards it turns into Bowser, and like go
please
that.
do that.
That'd be so amazing.
Mushroom Kingdom is the entirety of Mario 64.
That'd be so cool.
That's fine. Yeah,
I'm
you
A-okay with
just
that.
play
Or
it.
when you beat the game, once you find every moon, you unlock Mario 64 on there. And they're like, hey, here's a special virtual console of Mario 64.
Like Kanto and Silver.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, I totally want that, and I'm fingers crossed they do it. I
Yeah,
don't think
there's
they
so
will,
much cool
but
shit they
yeah.
could do with this game, like absolutely. And kind of keeping the Mario train rolling. Andy brought this up earlier today too. There are people who are going around saying that when Mario throws his cap on people, when Cappy goes on people, that Mario is possessing them.
Yeah.
Nintendo has been quite quick in shutting this down and
sure.
saying he is not possessing them, he is capturing them.
Right.
And he's just borrowing their abilities for a little bit before he leaves them and uncaptures them. Obviously, they want to use the word capture because it has the word cap in it.
Yeah.
Cappy, all about the hat. We get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so definitely not possessing them. But oh my god, it's hilarious just watching everybody be like, oh my god, he possesses this. And like it's like showing him like throwing stuff on like zombies or something.
Yeah.
He's possessing zombies or like other people. And then one of the funny ones I saw was it was like an image or whatever, like an image or something, and it was like what happens when Mario possesses a person in New Donk City? Like, does the person die? Like,
Right.
when Mario,
Which we saw in the trailer. He does
and I'm
it,
like, that's
yeah.
how. So he possesses people or captures people, which still also sounds awful. Like, oh hey, Mario's going around New York City just capturing people. Like, oh, he just captured a bunch of turtles to use. I'm like, that sounds just as bad as possessing. Like, possessing even sounds a little bit better.
Right.
Because it sounds like he's going to leave them soon, or he can leave them. You know, capture sounds like he is like enslaving these people. Like, this is terrible.
He's capsessing them.
I guess, man, this is messed up. But the other one I saw was hilarious. and it was just about E3, and I'm sure I brought this up too. I do a lot of repeating. But it's like the Xbox One X is on the top, and it's Phil Spencer talking about like, oh yeah, Xbox One X, we have 12 gigabytes of HDDR or not HDDR, you know what I mean, like
GDDR5.
Yeah, exactly. Like all this stuff. We got water coolers in it. We got like all this crazy shit, and it like cuts him off. And then the bottom image is the frog with the Mario hat on.
Yeah,
and
he
it's
posted
like
that, yeah.
you throw your hat on a frog and you become the frog. And it's like the internet like explodes about it. And I'm like, that's so funny because it's so true.
Yeah.
Like nobody cares that the Xbox One X is the most powerful home console ever. They just want to be Dat Boi wearing a Mario hat. You know what I mean? Like that's absolutely hilarious. Kind of leading into that, we have some information from E3. I don't know who took the poll or whatever. It probably was just a random Twitter poll. But throughout E3, the whole week of it, or half week, or however long, 7 days, how long is E3? 5 days? That's about a week.
It's 3 days. It's
Thursday.
3 days. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
But the conferences start Saturday.
Right. So it's it's like really
Yeah.
So it's like 5 days.
So it's like 6 days.
Yeah, it's a while.
But the actual convention is 3 days.
I'm going to call it a week.
Sure.
So the week of E3, these people took this poll, and it was like, all right, who do you like more? Like, who do you think, who do you care about more now? Like, after or like, who got you the most excited? Or like, whatever the question was. And it showed that that the Switch generated way more buzz than the Xbox One X.
Right.
And I'm like, that's awesome. So more people, even though they don't have Switches, more people are excited or want to get a Switch.
Yeah, for sure.
Than they want to get the Xbox One X.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's awesome. Like that's really really
Switch
cool.
is in a good spot right now if you can find one.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of, we just I work at GameStop and we got a bunch sent in this morning, so they're coming back. It looks like we're getting a reprint, which is really cool, or not a reprint, but a restock. Rather. That's really really cool. Andy, what did you just send me?
Nothing important.
Oh, okay. I just got a message from Andy. I'm like, oh god, maybe it's something to talk about. But no. Oh yes. So that's it. This was the other one that I wanted to bring up about capturing it's Kirby.
Yeah.
And so how obviously Kirby inhales people,
Sucks
it takes
them
their
in,
power.
yeah.
So Smash Brothers, Kirby inhales Mario. He's wearing a Mario hat. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so then people are saying like, oh my god, is this Kirby getting Mario's powers? Or is this Mario capturing Kirby because he's wearing the hat? So then there was this image going around, and Andy just sent it to me.
Yeah.
And it's this where the difference is Kirby.
Oh, the mustache.
Kirby has a mustache.
Oh no.
So when Kirby's wearing a mustache, that means Mario is capturing Kirby,
him.
and when there's no mustache, that means Kirby's in charge.
That's
I'm like,
hilarious.
that's so funny. And Nintendo of America, even themselves retweeted that and said, "Yep, this seems legit." So I'm like, oh my, that is so funny.
It's
like,
canon now.
I love
it's
it.
canon now.
So that's awesome.
That's
like
good
that's really
stuff.
good that Nintendo's like being able to like joke around and have some fun with that.
That's good stuff.
And so that's kind of about the Xbox One, just a little bit of friendly competition there.
Sure.
Next up, this is a little bit of info. 3DS, Nintendo came out with reports, and the 3DS still now, even with the Switch, accounts for 50% of their business.
Yeah.
Is generated through the 3DS. And I'm like, that's incredible.
Which is why it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
And that's the thing. And so then that kind of leads to the next point of Nintendo said they are going to support the 3DS well beyond 2018. So they're super excited to keep it going.
But that also does
really
mean
cool.
2DS because
Absolutely. Oh, 100%. Especially now that
we're not
all the
really
games,
seeing any 3D games anymore.
Exactly. And every game that's coming out now is not in 3D, only in 2D.
Right.
So, cool.
So yeah, the 3D gimmick is basically done, but the 3DS is still
But as
as
their
a
portable,
system,
yeah,
it's going to
they're
be
still gonna keep going.
for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. That
2020
whole
will still
family,
be getting stupid 3DS games. Which I wish they just go to Switch.
Yeah, I know they should, but I kind of like that theirs too. I don't know why, but like I love having my DS and my Switch. I don't know. To me, they're
3DS
two
is
different
so
things.
old though.
I don't even care, and it's like it's a 480p screen,
It
and it's
sucks.
so like I don't care though. It's still
I'm playing
fun, like,
RPG Maker FES right now for review on my girlfriend's 3DS, and it's like, come on, this could be on the Switch.
Yeah, and it could, and it's fine, but like honestly, like I really doesn't bother me. Like I still like my 3DS. I'll probably still play. I'll buy 3DS games. The new Metroid 2D Metroid that's coming to 3DS is like cool.
I do want to play that.
I can't wait. I got the special edition pre-ordered and
that was
everything.
insane. That remember when we were talking about what is the new Metroid going to be called? I was like, oh, Samus Returns. And
Yeah.
you're like, no, that's Metroid 2. They wouldn't do that. And you're like, well, they might. And then it turns out they are.
They did. Yeah, that's insane. So way to go.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Pokemon Go, had this huge update that just launched. Not for us though, because we're not the Golden Boys in San Francisco.
We're not special.
So San Francisco, pretty much.
Speaking of San Francisco, Game Over Greggy, he lives there.
Oh my God, Game Over Greg lives in San Francisco. Tweet at him at Game Over Greggy. Greg Miller. Tweeted my handle and this video. But yeah, so Pokemon Go rather, in San Francisco got this update. The whole gym rework has been completed. All this stuff. So the way it works now, and I'm going to do the kind of the Cliff Notes version, is now instead of having 10 Pokemon in a gym, you can only have 6. Mm-hmm. Cool. Like, that's awesome. Yeah. And it's limited that each Pokemon in the gym has to be a different Pokemon. So you no longer will see 10 Gyarados or 10 Tyranitar or 10 Dragonites or 10 whatever. Yeah. And there's also some other algorithm about like which is the best defender. So the higher defenders, like the better defending Pokemon will be near the top. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's cool. As you go and battle them, you battle on a first come basis. So the first Pokemon that went into the gym is who you're battling. Mm-hmm. Then they're saying the longer your Pokemon is in the gym, they get like demoralized kind of. That's not the word they used. But it's like they get like demotivated. Sure. So you have to feed them berries, or someone from your team has to feed them berries that boost their motivation again. Back up. So as their motivation is dropping, if their motivation runs out, they leave the gym and go back to you. Gotcha. So even if no one's defeated them. And then as the motivation is dropping, their CP also drops. So their power also drops, which makes them easier to defeat. Right. So like they're doing all these things to not have gyms be run by the same people all the time in the same Pokemon, which is awesome because I still don't even have a Dragonite. I've been playing since day one. I was going to say, is this an update that excites you? Not really, because I really don't care about the gyms like whatsoever. Because
I never got into Pokemon Go.
Yeah. So. I mean, I was obsessed. I still am. Like, I still play it all the time, like try and keep up on the daily streaks and stuff. But it's like the gym stuff, never was a fan of that. Like, never cared. Mm-hmm. Didn't care about the battling, because the battling literally is just like tapping and swiping. And I'm like, I don't care. I just want to going back to the whole collectathon thing, I just want to catch all the Pokemon. I want to catch them all. Like, that's my goal. Exactly. Once I catch them all, I'm done. Yeah. You know, once I have a full Pokedex, I'm out. Yeah. Which I only need 4 more Pokemon to have a full North American Pokedex, which is awesome. Nice. One of which I can walk into existence, Dragonite. And I'm at like 76 Dragonair candies or Dratini candies. So I'm almost there for that. I need a Grimer, which is like the hardest thing in the game to find, but you can hatch them from eggs. So I just need to hatch a Grimer and then walk it into a muck, and that's done. And then Hitmonlee is the last thing, which I think you can hatch, or hopefully I can find one wild somewhere. But then and then I'm done. And then I have every Gen 1 Pokemon. Then you just got to go to Europe and... I know, to get all the other, but I don't care about those. I just want the whole North American one, and then I'm moving on to Gen 2. Yeah. But the last thing they announced is raid bosses. Oh, okay. And so the way that there are going to be certain gyms that are raid gyms. And what you do is you get a team of 20 people together. It can be up to 20 people, and you do not have to be on the same team. That's cool. So it's like, I was talking to a buddy, and he's worried because he's on blue team, and he's like, I need to find 20 people on blue team to go raid with to do this. And I'm like, no, it can be anybody. You can do it just any group of people. Yeah. And you can set it up to which is smart. Yeah, and you can set it up to do private raids where if you just want to be with only your friends, you can do it that way too. That's cool. And so what it is there's one Pokemon. And they have crazy amounts of CP. So, like, the one was 25,000 CP, not 2,500, which that in and of itself, like, a 3,000 CP Pokemon is massive. Like, crazy powerful. This is a 25,000 CP thing, is what was in the trailer, or in the image or whatever. And so you have to battle, all 20 of you battle this Pokemon. When you defeat it, you have, like, the battle limit is like 5 minutes or something too. When you defeat it, you get a chance at capturing whatever that raid Pokemon is. Okay. So say the raid Pokemon is a Tyranitar. Yeah. You defeat the Tyranitar together as 20 people, and then you all get a chance. You get a chance to catch it. It can still run from you. You can still run out of Pokeballs. You can there's all that stuff that can go wrong, but you get the chance at catching it. The only thing we don't know yet is if say your team of 20 is first there and they catch the Tyranitar, does that mean it's gone from everyone there? Or is it still there? Is it going to be like the nest? Like the nests last for 2 weeks where like Lake Anna right next door is a nest. And so you can go and say it's Chikorita. You can just walk around the lake, catch like 20 Chikorita. That's all that spawns there. Like, or not all, but like that's very common to spawn there. Yeah. And then in 2 weeks, that can change to Charmander. In 2 weeks, that can change to Pidgey. You know what I mean? Right. It's random every 2 weeks. So is it going to be something like that where you just kind of stick with it and then you hold it out for 2 weeks? Once it's done, it changes to a new thing. Or is it going to be something where it's like maybe a day, or is it like 5 hours or something and it's constantly changing? We don't know that information yet. Yeah. But that's really cool. Yeah. And that seems to be the way that everything works in and that how they're going to do legendaries. Yeah. Because you have a raid. Mewtwo is going to be the raid boss. Everyone goes to fight Mewtwo. You defeat it. You get the chance at catching it. So then you get Mewtwo.
Everyone's
Very
waiting
similar
for
to
that.
how the trailer, the original Pokemon Go trailer, when everyone's in New York, and there's like the whole stream of everyone throwing Pokeballs.
And they just
trying to
stop,
catch
yeah,
yeah,
like,
and they're
you
all
know.
trying to battle Mewtwo and stuff. So it's like, okay, cool. That's probably how they're gonna handle legendaries, which is cool. Handle it like that. I don't care. Just make it where the only thing that would suck is if the first group that gets there gets it, and then it changes to a different Pokemon.
Yeah,
that would blow. But who knows? We'll have to see.
We will
see
find out soon.
Yeah, when we get that update, probably within the next few weeks.
I imagine so.
Or months.
It
Who
won't
knows?
stay.
I don't think it'll be. I think it's still like in their beta phase or whatever. All right, next up we got EA. They had some interesting things to say about the Switch. They said they're very happy for Nintendo that they're so doing so well, and that they are interested in putting their games on there.
Yeah.
However, there is only one EA game set to release on the Switch, like at all.
FIFA.
And that's FIFA. So what EA has to say about that is FIFA is their biggest franchise.
Sure.
FIFA is their biggest
Which
seller.
it is.
Which makes sense because you got to think, even though soccer's not that popular here, even though I really like soccer, I know a few people who do.
It's the number
overseas,
one sport internationally. Yeah.
Everyone wants FIFA. Everyone cares about FIFA. So that's what everyone's playing. So EA, but Madden over in Europe, no one cares about Madden.
Yep.
Some people care about NBA, but it's like FIFA is the one that they always buy. So FIFA internationally, worldwide, is EA's biggest game. I totally believe
and it makes sense that's why they're starting
That's putting it on right.
Yeah,
and so
that's the
their
foundation.
like exact quote was something along the lines of like, we're putting like a huge footprint in the Switch library already with this, and then we'll see how it does, and then we'll go over. But then the other thing they said is they are not interested in putting like just direct ports up over there. And what's even more interesting and almost like borderline offensive is that they said that EA games aren't like the kind of games that it's like it comes down to the players that like people who play EA games probably aren't playing on the Switch.
On the Nintendo,
Pretty much is like what they said. And I'm
Which I could see why you would take offense to that, but in all actuality, they're probably right.
I can understand it, but like at the same time, it's like I get it, but like don't say that.
Right.
That's like working somewhere and being like, oh yeah, I get first dibs on all the rare stuff.
Yeah.
And so that means you as the customer don't get it.
Right.
It's like that's something, yes, that's true, but you don't say that. You don't tell that to someone.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's stupid. Like, why would you do that? So
It's EA.
Exactly. So right, EA is not very smart. So you have all that handled, and then EA is just like, we're doing whatever, like we're fine. And so it's like, hey, I hope FIFA does well so that they bring more EA games. But it's like,
I honestly think, if FIFA does well, we'll probably see more sports titles first. From
Yeah,
EA.
I think
We're gonna
so,
see
which
Madden.
is fine.
We'll see NBA Live, even though it's probably not going to be that good.
Right.
If they, I don't even think they do a golf game. They didn't do a golf game this year.
I don't think so
because
there's
Rory
McIlroy
McIlroy, that
years
was.
ago. But NBA Live, does that even have a date yet?
No.
I don't think because someone came into the store asking for it, and he's like, "Hey, do you have a date for NBA Live?" I tried typing it in the system, couldn't even find it in the system. I don't even know if the game's coming out this year.
Basketball obviously is dominated by the 2K series.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the golf games, as of now, the golf club seems to be like the place to go for your
really, really
legit
well.
simulation. And then, but I love everybody's golf.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say.
For
So there's
PS4,
like tons of other stuff. So it's like, who knows? And they just said a lot of their
But Mario
franchises-
Golf, bring it back.
Yeah, I know that'd be so
please.
cool. I would love it. Toadstool Tour 2.
Please bring it back.
The last thing they said is that a lot of their games, too, a lot of their franchises aren't suitable being on a portable console.
Sure.
They said a lot of our games are spent better playing on a TV, that kind of thing. And I'm like, cool, but the Switch can play on the TV. What? Like, it's possible. So, and I get that, though, it probably is required from Nintendo that it
has to,
portable. It has to do portable. Every game is portable and TV mode, which actually isn't the case anymore because there's that game Voez that's on the eShop that is tablet only.
Right. Is that the music one?
Yeah, it's like some rhythm game, but it's like free on iOS or something, but it's $25.
I know.
I
Jessica was like, she was like, that's cool. I was like, we're not spending it.
Yeah, you can't spend $25 on it though when it's free on your phone. So I don't know. So that's whatever. And then next up, we've got Nintendo is hoping that with more DLC for ARMS, they're having a bunch of free DLC. I was gonna say
there's a bunch of free ones.
Yeah, so they just announced the first free character, and who that's going to be next month is Max Brass.
Yeah,
and he is the end boss of Grand Prix mode.
Right.
So you play through Grand Prix mode, get through all your fights, and then the final boss is this Max Brass guy.
Yeah.
You fight him, you beat him, whoop-de-doo. Later in the coming months, he's going to be downloadable content for free. You'll get it for free.
Yeah.
All the DLC for ARMS is going to be free. That's awesome.
Which is good.
Yeah,
and
cool.
that's something that Nintendo has been doing. I mean, when they did that with Splatoon, the only thing they didn't do it with was Smash and Mario Kart. I think.
Yeah,
that was the
exactly,
paid
which
ones.
was paid and Zelda. But it's like,
Zelda.
who cares? Because I gladly would put, but their pricing was so on point with all of those other paid ones that it's like, cool, keep your pricing good and everyone will be happy.
Yeah, we'll buy it. Yeah.
Then we have also seen it kind of with ARMS is that they want to add in future DLC, they want to add backstory. They want to do more backstory for the characters. They want to do more story-focused stuff. I'm like, that's awesome. Like, I'm so okay with that. Because you look at things like Tekken, there's a whole crazy storyline in Tekken 7.
Injustice,
that's like, Injustice is a great story.
good.
Mortal Kombat was even a cool story, like the way it flipped between everything. So it's like, story modes and fighting games are kind of like becoming a thing. It's not just like, hey, you pick your characters and you fight like, the old Street Fighter days or old Mortal Kombat days. Now you have like backstory to all these characters.
Right.
And so they want to do that for ARMS, which is great. Keep it going.
Which is good, yeah.
Also,
did you see that ARMS sold over, what was it, 100,000 in Japan the opening week?
Yeah, something
which was
crazy.
more than, what was it? It was more than Street Fighter and another game combined.
Yeah, which is nuts. And it's also, we sold out when we got ARMS. We sold out in like 2 days. So it came out on Friday.
There was a demand.
We only had 5 pre-ordered, but by Saturday, I worked Saturday night. We had 1 copy left, and I sold to someone on Saturday night. So from Friday morning to Saturday night,
Sold out.
Sold 30 copies of the game.
Which is impressive.
Like, oh my God. And I had people coming in on Sunday, so obviously we don't get shipments on weekend. I had someone come in on Sunday, like, hey, do you have ARMS? I had like 4 people come in and ask for ARMS. I'm like, no, sorry, we're sold out. Like, hey, you got to go to another store. Like, called the other store and was like, hey, is this a pre-order? Like, what's going on? Like, oh yeah, it's a
Check
pre-order.
Amazon.
Like, it's pre-order, it's stuck there. And I'm like, God, that's insane. Like, how like fast this game sold out. And it's like, that's kind of why like we tell people, hey, you should pre-order it. Like, if you have any interest in it, pre-order it. Put $5 down on it. Even trade something in and use store credit, so you don't have to pay cash. Put $5 down. We get one sent in for you. The day it comes out, you see the reviews, and you're like, oh, this game got a 4 out of 10. Come back, get your $5 back, and you're done.
Right.
Like, you're not locked into it. You know what I mean? So it's like, but then that would save so many people so much disappointment of like, oh man, like I didn't think it was gonna sell out. Like now I have to like go somewhere else and get it. Like I have like a GameStop card. I want my GameStop points, whatever, blah blah blah.
I just don't like the pre-order culture. Like,
I honestly have no issues with it.
Right?
Like,
it's just
whatsoever.
like it's not that stores like GameStop use it as a crutch, but it's that the developers use it as a crutch.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Like, I don't like that. Okay, so pre-order now to get this exclusive weapon or this exclusive. No, fuck that.
Yeah.
I will not pre-order if someone does that.
Okay. Yeah, see, I really have no problem with that because it's like, cool, I want the pre-order bonus, whatever it is.
I will
probably
go
gonna
without
buy it anyway.
the bonuses.
Oh, see, I won't because I want as much content for especially like Rabbids.
Nope,
Rabbids
I go without.
Have to. But then it's like, pre-ordering is also kind of a good thing. So that way, like, say we had 30 people pre-order ARMS, we'd have gotten a shit ton more sent to us. You know what I mean? And then we wouldn't have been sold out for the people who didn't pre-order, and that would have been great. And so it's like there is good and bad, and I think it's more of, and it's something like Spider-Man that comes out in like 2018.
Yeah.
Don't pre-order that.
No.
Like, you don't even know when that's coming out. There's not even a release date for that. Like, why would you pre-order that?
Yeah.
But something like Call of Duty that is November 3rd and it gives you beta access, yeah, go and throw $5 that's non-committal down.
Yep.
It'd be like if you put your $5 down on it and then you lost that forever, then it's like, I get it. That's awful. But like the fact that it's just like $5 in limbo is like, hey, go without Wendy's for a day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just kind of in limbo. So I don't know.
If I
have no
to-
issues at all.
If I have to have a game on the day of release to do a review, like if I don't get something early to play it for a review, then I might say like on Sunday or Monday drop, and I'll just buy it outright on Amazon so that I still get the release date delivery for Tuesday. But I literally hold off as long as I can. Like, I won't pre-order early to get anything. If I order the game and it's not out yet and I still get the stuff with it, I'm just doing it to do a review. I mean, I'll take the stuff, but I won't. If it's something I'm not reviewing and I don't care about, I'll just wait to buy it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about the bonuses.
Yeah, and so that's kind of, I've been going through that a lot on like,
we got to do a BJ's on that.
I know, I wrote down like
Pre-order
all the
culture.
things. Yeah,
Pre-order
I wrote
culture.
down all the games that I wanted to get this year, and
My list is over 50.
yeah, my list was crazy, and so I was like putting all the prices up. It was something like
And I'm going to do a review on all this.
Yeah, it was like $650 worth of games for the end,
Mine's
of, like
over
towards the end of the year, and I'm like, this is not okay. Like, I cannot do this.
And
so.
all the early 2018 is not any better.
I know, and see, all this was stuff that I wanted day one, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, a lot of time I'm gonna have to go without
Right.
on day one. You know, it's like even like Mario Odyssey was coming up, where it's like maybe I don't get Odyssey on day one because obviously October 13th, Evil Within.
No,
that
you're getting
kind of
you're
trumps
getting Odyssey on
that
day
kind of trumps Mario. So if I have the money, I definitely will.
You just won't get
But it's-
Wolfenstein.
I definitely am not getting Wolfenstein. That's not even even being thought about because of Odyssey. But it's like Evil Within. If I'm done with Evil Within by the time Odyssey comes out, then I'll get Odyssey. But if I'm still feel like I have half a game left in
Evil Within 2 is gonna be so good.
I cannot wait. I'm so excited. So yeah, so we'll see how it goes. Obviously, you'll be updated here.
On one show or another.
Right, exactly. It'll come up. And then also just kind of a little quick thing. Nintendo admits that they're looking into VR. For the Switch. That's awesome. Bring back Virtual Boy 2.
Oh, God, no. Please don't do that.
Do it. Make it all
won't
red.
sell. It won't sell.
Yeah, it probably won't. That'd be like if they came out with a Vita 2. No one would care.
But if they did something similar to Samsung, and they did like the Gear,
like the Gear VR, or like the Google
tablet
Cardboard
into it.
Yeah,
that's
that'd be
the
really
way
cool.
to do it.
I just don't know if the tablet is able to handle it, but I don't know. They're looking into it. That's kind of all we know.
I think it would give at least a base. I mean, like if you're watching a YouTube video on a phone. And it's in the 360 thing. That people consider that VR.
Right.
It's not real VR.
Right. It's just
that's probably what the Switch is.
And that's what I'm saying. So, but as far as like VR games, like PSVR and Vive and Oculus and stuff like that, like there's no way they're gonna hit that level.
No. Not with the Switch.
Yeah, absolutely not. Maybe Switch XL or the new Nintendo Switch, whatever they want to call it. But all right. So moving on, we've got Nintendo Classic, which is why we have this little bad boy here right now.
Yeah.
It actually is in there. So yeah.
Yeah. Box is heavy.
So we have
this been there for a long time.
Yeah, I know it's actually never been taken out. It is brand new.
It's a studio exclusive,
right? We've got a statement from Nintendo, and this is what they had to say about the NES Classic. They go,
"Rest in peace."
Right? Pretty much. We've learned a lot from the NES Classic. We've learned there's a real passion for retro gaming. The NES Classic was originally intended to be a holiday item. And obviously there was a high demand. So we doubled down and continued to produce it as we went into the next quarter. But we've decided we wanted to focus on other areas. So we're not producing any more at this point, but we've learned a lot. So, okay, cool. Clearly, they were ramping up for the production of the Switch.
Right.
That was right around the corner.
Yep.
So it's like, why would you focus on
that.
That's making you $60 that and realistically in cost and production and parts and everything else probably cost you $45.
Yeah.
Then GameStop's got to take their cut. So all in all, Nintendo probably makes $15 on one of these.
Right.
On the Switch, they're making like 50.
Yeah.
So it's like, what would you rather sell? Everyone you sell you get $50 or everyone you sell you get 15?
Yeah.
You know, like kind of forget people's happiness, and clearly it has not impacted Nintendo because the Switch is doing so well.
No. And
anyway,
I mean, it seems to me like we're not going to see an SNES Classic at least anytime soon.
Absolutely not.
I literally think that by them saying we learned a lot, I do think that the Netflix style of system that we've discussed before in the past, that's going to happen eventually.
I think so.
I think Nintendo's full category, like their full library,
Yeah.
is going to be available on demand through like a Netflix system. Because I mean, that's the Nintendo Online. That's kind of what that's what we understand it to be at this time.
Absolutely.
And there hasn't been any new info since that video we did a couple weeks ago came out. So if you haven't seen that, check it out.
Right.
But
So,
yeah, as of right now,
interesting.
it's an on-demand catalog. It's just how expansive is it going to be, and how much how often are they going to add to it?
Right.
Many unknowns.
Coming up on the finales here, we got Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Cannot wait.
Supposedly coming to Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, in 2025.
A Spanish Ubisoft Spanish website or something, I don't remember, something to do with Spain, put out a statement that said, yeah, we're super excited to be working on Beyond Good and Evil coming to Xbox One, PS4, and Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
So, cool. Yeah, obviously take it with a grain of salt. Who knows? Translated.
Well,
blah, blah, blah,
the original rumor was that
it was supposed to be
a Switch exclusive.
And obviously that is not the case. And then what was it? Something else I was just reading that they said Beyond Good and Evil, they were like, literally is like about to like start development.
Oh yeah, no, we're not
like,
going to see that game until like 2022.
Yeah, exactly. Like where it is like this game is so far out. Like they pretty much just made that trailer and that was.
And I literally think I don't know if you remember from years past, Michael Ancel, the guy doing Beyond Good and Evil. I mean that's his baby, but he went off and formed a new studio and was doing that game called Wild.
Yeah.
I think that means means that game is probably dead.
I totally forgot about that game. I absolutely forgot about that game, but yeah.
But it looks because you could like you become the owl, you become the bear.
Yeah,
and, like,
I totally
that
remember
game
that.
looks fucking
Oh,
awesome.
man. I completely forgot that even
I'm
existed.
pretty sure, and that was a PS4 exclusive.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that game's dead.
Oh god, dude, yeah,
pretty sure that game's dead.
Um,
because all of his time is going to go to Beyond Good and Evil.
Yep.
Now we don't know. That's maybe not the case. That game could be near done, and like he just has like a team finish it without him there.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows?
Talk for a second.
Yeah. But we have no idea if that game is going to be around. So.
Keep talking.
Yeah. Anyway.
Tell us about your day.
Yeah. So I'm doing pretty good. Joe went off, and this isn't a Waterman story, unfortunately.
No, it's not.
Because you're already back.
I'm back right now.
But
So thanks for that little thing. But no, so next piece of news, I forgot to bring this out at the beginning of the show.
I'm leaving this all in there, by the way.
Yeah, oh yeah, do it. That's fine. That's why I wanted you to talk. But so anyway, so this right here I have
Fucking
is a
sweet.
Guardian Amiibo. Guardian Amiibo for Breath of the Wild. This is the reprinted one.
Yeah.
So they all just came out with reprints. GameStop today had just been restocked. Our website
Did you
got
buy that
restocked.
today?
No,
Oh.
I bought it a few days ago.
Oh, okay.
But the website had gotten restocked on it, so I
Okay.
bought it when it was live on the website again.
Yeah.
Because I'm one of those people where I have multiple Amiibo, but I have one that I open and one that I keep in the box. Only for Zelda, though.
Sure.
Just because Zelda is my favorite franchise of video game of all time, and it's like I love just the way they look in the box. So I have all the Zelda boxed ones lined up. All I'm missing is Sheik and Toon Link, but I have all the rest of them. Oh, and Toon Link and Wind Waker Zelda, like that 2-pack. So I'm missing that, but I have all the other ones open. So I am opening my Amiibo, use them. Opened all the other 102 Amiibo that are out that I have are all open out of packages. The only things I have in packages are Zelda. Now this is the one that I got to open. So the original, when Breath of the Wild Amiibos first came out, I have all those are still in the box.
Those are still in the box.
Now the thing that is right there that you can see, and
Yeah.
I'll try and point at the camera.
Nintendo Switch.
It says Nintendo Switch now on the back of the box. Before it did not.
Okay.
Before it was just Wii U and 3DS.
Interesting.
So I think that's very interesting in that Nintendo Switch now being on there, these are clearly identifiably different
Yes.
than the original run.
Yes.
These are clearly reprints because now the Switch is on there, whereas
Yeah.
the original ones do not. So I have all the original ones in the box. So Ryan and I were talking about this, and I just kind of want to get your quick thoughts on it. Very similar to the comic book world, which I know you don't know a whole ton about comic books, but when they make a comic book, they have a set print run of the first
Which
issue,
is
right?
usually like, as in collecting terms, more valuable.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's kind of where we're getting. Is that so? Like, I'm gonna say Batman #1 in 2011 from the New 52 line.
Yeah.
That's the issue I have that I have signed by the artist and the artist and the author, which is awesome. Is literally my most prized possession. Like,
Sure.
if my house was burned down, I could only take one thing. It would be that comic book, like above the Switch, above my PS4, above literally anything else that is not living in my house.
I was gonna say sorry, Maggie.
Right, that is not alive. That is not a person or an animal. Would be that comic book, my possession. I don't possess Maggie, so I'm not Mario.
You
here.
capture
Come
her.
on, you're exactly right. I keep her captured. But yeah, so I have. So it would be that comic book. First print, all this stuff. Print #2. So first print, I want to say had maybe 30,000 copies printed. They already know that when they make the book.
Yeah.
Then say the book sells so well and sells out. Then they have print #2. #2 has kind of like a reddish cover. Like part of the Batman, like
Something's
part of the
diff-
cover
something's different.
is red. And then the third print, part of it is blue. And then there's I think that book went into a fourth print and it's like purple. And each one of the prints are less as they come out though. So it's like, actually I think it was like 100,000. So we'll say 100,000 copies of Batman #1 were printed. Then print #2 comes out, the red one. Comes out and maybe there's 60,000 of those. Then the blue one comes out and maybe 40,000 of those. And then the other one comes out and maybe 20,000 of those.
So is the
we'll
last
say.
one that comes out where there's less? Does that end up being more?
No.
No.
So the thing is though, the first print in which the most are there is what
Still the most
becomes
expensive.
more rare.
Yeah,
because
which is
it's the
what I would
first print.
assume,
And
but
you'd think
when you
because
started
it's
saying it, I was
first.
like, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. So it's the first print, and it goes against all like thoughts of
Yeah.
there's less of these purple ones in existence, so that should cost more. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But it doesn't. It's all everybody wants the original, and I think it is like a hipster inside of them where it's like, hey, yeah, I have the original print. That means I was there at the beginning.
Yeah.
Even if you weren't,
Yeah.
but you can buy the first print.
You can make it seem
looks
like you were.
It looks like you were there at the beginning. It looks like you're so diehard that you've been there always,
Yeah.
even if you're not. So
Sure.
interesting. But yeah, so the first print runs, that's my whole point, is that the first print are always more expensive. So my question is, do you think for Amiibo, for the diehard inbox Amiibo collectors, are going to now be hunting the ones that don't have
I think
Nintendo
it
Switch?
has to be.
You think that's
Yeah.
possible? You think those are going to shoot up in value?
Yeah.
So do I. Ryan
Yeah.
said no.
Well, he's crazy.
He's an idiot. So,
But yeah, because I mean, using the analogy you just gave, the original is going to be worth more.
yeah, absolutely.
and-
I think so.
I mean, as long as it's still in the box, as long as it's not been opened.
Exactly
and all
right.
that.
Because
as long as it's still in mint
as far
condition.
as you can tell from like the paint and
Yeah.
like the work and everything on this is the identical. It is the identical figure.
It's just the box, man.
It's the same. It is just the little Switch picture on the back. Of
And
the
I don't
box.
think
And that
there's
changes the whole
enough.
thing.
I don't think there's enough. There probably is. But I don't think that the Amiibo collecting world is going to be as hardcore as the comic collecting world.
Absolutely not, because comics have been around for so long. But I think that these people
There will be
hardcore.
people that will pay like $1,000 for the original, and if they can't
Absolutely,
get
because
anywhere
they're
else.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. So absolutely,
Psychos.
because now
And they have the money to do so.
And the
I wish
thing
I
is,
did.
as of right now, whenever one of these gets printed, we'll now have this Switch. So this, for the foreseeable future,
Will be that.
is going to be this box.
Yep.
The original box without this is now no more.
Yep.
It is long gone.
Yep.
They will never, ever, ever, ever come out with that again.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that value just shot up, because now that is impossible to get retail. So
hopefully you still have some that are in the box, and you could just rebuy. You could rebuy the ones that
so
have that.
that's exactly
and you
what
can
I did.
sell it.
Well, I'm not gonna sell it because I'm not a scalper. I'm not gonna do that. But that's exactly what I did. Was all of my Breath of the Wilds I have in the box, and I went out and bought a second one and opened that up, and that's what my open one was. So I do. So now I have 2 Guardians in the box.
Yeah.
This is the one that I'm gonna open and use because it's the Switch one.
Yeah.
But the original Wii U 3DS one, that's gonna be the one that I do.
Sell it.
I'm not gonna sell it because I want them in the box, but and I'm also not there. Last bit of news is keeping in theme with Pokemon is Reggie said that he was in a statement, said to whoever, that the Pokemon game that is coming to Switch is going to be a traditional core RPG. You're going to train, capture, and battle Pokemon like we've always done before.
Yep.
And that is what this game is going to be.
Yep.
And that's awesome because that rules out XD Gale of Darkness 2, that rules out Coliseum. While those are great games,
and we probably will see versions of those in the future again.
Yeah.
Those two.
But I want right now a real RPG kind of game, you know. So just hearing Reggie say that makes me really happy that I'm getting something good and getting something worthwhile.
You're getting what you want.
And then
I would play it too. So
yeah, absolutely. Did you play Pokemon though? Growing
I
up,
played
though,
it.
right?
Yeah, but I haven't in a long time.
Okay.
I mean,
where did you drop off?
I think Heart Gold or Heart. What was Heart?
Okay,
Silver?
on the DS.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's pretty.
But I mean,
recent.
that was like
That's
what
recent
6, 7 years.
I
ago,
honestly
maybe?
have no idea. I think that was like 2011 or something.
Yeah,
I don't
about
know.
6 years ago then.
Yeah.
So,
No, I have no idea. But
it wasn't that long. It wasn't
that long
Yeah,
ago.
it wasn't
you
that
haven't
long
missed
ago,
out so
but
much.
yeah. I haven't
so,
missed
okay,
out on
cool. So
everything,
you've only
but-
missed like 3 generations.
3 generations.
So, which isn't
with
bad.
Sun and Moon as the third 3 generations.
Exactly. So yeah, you're
But
on point.
we own X because Jessica played X.
Okay.
I mean, but I could play them if I wanted to.
Sure, but there's just no desire.
But I never
to,
bought. I
which
never
is-
bought Sun and Moon because I did assume that it would be coming to the Switch.
Right.
And I probably won't pick up Ultra Sun either.
Yeah,
No
it's
interest.
and yeah, exactly. You don't have to, especially now knowing that when it's coming to the
Yeah,
Switch,
I'll wait.
Might as well just wait
I'll
for
wait.
that. You know that
The better
It's
version.
not like there's nothing to play right now.
Yeah, no,
you know what I
trust
mean?
me.
Cool.
There's way too much stuff to play.
Yeah. And then lastly is a game that seems really, really cool is 2064 Read Only Memories.
good.
I first heard about this game from my boy Game Over Greggy on Twitter at Game Over Greggy. Tweeted him
Tweet
this
him.
video, tweeted my handle, blah, blah, blah.
He's gonna block you.
I know. It's crazy. Well, probably not because he's not even going to see this video, and nobody out there will tweet at him my handle or this video, so I don't even have anything to worry about. He's never going to see this. But, so, yeah, he was first talking about it, I believe, and I'm like, oh, that seems like a cool idea. Kind of looked into it a little bit. I'm like, oh, that's really nice. I think it's on PS4 or on PC.
It's
or
on
something like
PS4.
that.
I think it's on the Vita, and I think it's on PC.
Yeah, so it's like cool. Didn't do it. I don't know. For some reason, I don't want indies on my PS4. I don't know.
Sure.
Which is like that's kind of what launched the PS4 anyway.
Yeah.
Was it indies that launched with these?
Which
But
it's funny
like,
because what was it? The main exec from Sony just the other
Jim
day was
Bryan.
he was just like,
hating
we're
on
not talking
indies.
about indies anymore because it doesn't make sense to talk about indies
Yeah,
anymore.
but like, and of course that's so taken out of context of like, it sounds like he's hating on indies,
Right.
And like clearly,
it's like
he's
we
not,
needed them when we didn't have our own games, but now we have our own games. Fuck you guys.
Yeah, so it's what it sounds like, but that clearly is not. The
No,
case,
I
but
know.
Whatever.
They just
It's fun
literally
to make fun of him.
as
though.
a company, they don't have time to talk about everything.
Exactly, right? So I
Like,
can
they
get
can
why
only
their E3
allocate-
press conference
yeah.
was the big AAA stuff, and it's like, yeah, there's nothing about indies, but then
And they
were like-
literally said, like Shuhei Yoshida said, we did not, because a lot of people hated on Sony for their E3 press conference because, they showed a lot of repeat stuff.
Right.
Obviously, we did get Shadow of the Colossus, which that video of ours is doing pretty well
Yeah.
on YouTube. But they clearly said we held stuff off for future conferences. I mean, they have not ruled out Gamescom or Paris Games Week this year.
Right.
They didn't
Even
rule out
PSX.
Yeah, PSX we know is happening.
Right.
So they're gonna have good showings, and I like that formula. Like the Nintendo Directs every couple months. I like that. Spread it out throughout
Yep,
the year
absolutely.
instead
Totally
of front loading one event.
Yep, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
So going into then indies,
Sorry,
kind of
yeah.
on
2064, Read
thing,
Only
yeah,
Memories.
Tell me about it. I never played it.
Very, very good game. I gave it an 8. I reviewed it on the PS4 back when this was still Level Down Games, and it's different. So it's a visual novel.
Okay. Which I'm cool with.
Yeah.
I'm
So I mean,
down
as
with
long
those.
as like in terms of what you would used to. Think of like Phoenix Wright, that kind of stuff, visual novel style.
Yeah.
You play as this reporter, journalist, and it's set in like Neo San Francisco in the future in the year 2064. And everything is basically technologically advanced. And read-only memories, ROM, I forget, romance and something. I forget exactly what ROM. It doesn't stand for read-only memories in the game. It stands for something else. And it's these little robot dudes that are, basically being programmed to do different things throughout the world. So there's some that, like they're chefs. There's some that are like your personal assistants and that kind of stuff. And you have one, his name is called Turing. And I'm not going to spoil of how you get him and why he's with you because it's the most major plot point in the game. But you find it out within like the first 2 hours.
Sure.
So once you start playing it, you'll know why you have him. But the game, it was developed by a company called Midboss, and I have a lot of respect for them for what they're doing in the industry. Like they created Gamer X, GAYMERX.
Okay.
Like they are very much like behind the LGBTQ community.
Okay.
And everything about like this game speaks to that community like one-on-one.
About
like,
2064.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like Zoe Quinn does voiceover in this game. Jim Sterling does voiceover in this game.
Cool.
Aaron Fitzgerald, Xavier Woods, Austin Creed from WWE, Dan Reichert from, was he from
I think he's
Giant Bomb?
Giant Bomb. I think he
Giant Bomb
he
or
definitely is Giant
GameSpot.
Bomb.
Yeah,
100%
one of the
is
two.
Giant Bomb.
So
Yeah.
he does voiceover in the game, and like a lot of the characters that you meet, they are, you don't know how they identify, and that's one of the coolest things. So like you'll go into this bar and it's this big rugged dude, and he's the bartender, but his boyfriend's right there. And it's another big rugged dude. And then like, you talk to these cat people and it turns out like, that they identify differently and, they don't, with their sexuality and their orientation. And there is a much deeper meaning to this game than just being a visual novel.
Okay.
And it was one of the biggest reasons why, and I mean, it's not a long game. I think it took me like 6 or 7 hours to beat. But I loved it, dude. It was, and the music, like, it's our style, like, SuperGen. We, like the 80s synth,
retro,
which, shout out to Next Machina, which I'm putting a review up for tomorrow, which will be in the past by the time you see this.
Yeah, you'll have already watched that video review about it.
But it's same style of like the 80s synth, wave shaper type stuff. Dude, the music in that game is so good, and the like I said, it's pixel graphics, but it's beautifully done.
Okay.
I mean, when it comes out for Switch, you definitely have to play it.
All right.
For sure.
Yeah, I will 100%. I'll get it. I have a whole list because you can set up a wish list on the Switch. I have this whole wish list is full of just.
Is that on there already?
Stuff. Yep.
Oh, nice.
2064 is not.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say
that's coming
that's
later this year. I think they said.
And I think that'll do well on the Switch. I really do.
So. They said the article or whatever that I was reading is like, this mature game is coming to the Switch, and I think they meant mature not in rating, but in,
mature as in the like the
content.
theme. Yeah.
Which is this game rated M? Do you know?
It's not. I don't think so.
Okay.
It might. Well, no.
Because even
I don't know because I
themes,
didn't buy like a box or anything. So I mean,
right.
like,
So it's just like on the system or whatever.
I was provided with the game.
Well, I'm gonna look it up real quick. But yeah, so it seems cool.
But yeah,
I'm
I would
super pumped for
assume
it.
mature as in, like I said, it deals a lot with the LGBTQ community and the themes and like the content that you're reading about and witnessing. It's definitely for a more mature audience than it is for like a 5-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. Even like the way you
like
understand the game, right?
Yeah,
like
they
you
wouldn't
have to
get
be
it.
mature to
They wouldn't understand.
It is definitely.
M. It is
all
M.
right.
It is M.
Yeah, 100% because let's see if I can get this bad boy to rewind. Doesn't look like it. But it said M like for like violence and like
which it's pixel violence.
Here we go.
But it's like it's not bad violence.
Violence, blood, drug reference, mild language, use of alcohol.
Okay.
Is rated M. So
and like I said, you
I'm
go
down
into
for
the
it.
bar
That's
and
dope.
like there is drug references all throughout the game. So I mean, I guess it.
I would say
but
that
that
alone
still
is
doesn't
drugs
warrant
and
an
all
M for me. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. That's us though. Like we're so dude. Everything can be rated E. I don't care. Let anyone play anything out of it.
B for
doesn't
babies.
bother me. Right. So yeah, that's that.
Yeah.
That is all of the news we have for this fine week.
I think over the last week we have talked so much about Nintendo.
I know, and I'm not burned out.
No,
but I'm
like,
hitting
there's-
the limit.
there's-
I'm getting close.
What else is there to discuss. What else is there? Like between E3, doing like the post shows for E3 and
Right.
like our wrap up videos.
Oh my
from
god,
E3
yeah, dude,
last
we've done
week.
so much content.
Over the last week and a half, we have done a lot of content. I know, good and bad feedback. Keep it coming.
Right.
We love
Devolver Digital video. Check that out.
Check out our Devolver
See
Digital.
what those people had to say.
I am the guy in red.
Although he's in blue today, so get your colors
You can
straight.
tell by my hair.
Right.
But I mean, we love the feedback, and I mean, I only just want to keep encouraging that, whether it's positive or negative.
Absolutely, that's why I say,
that
yeah, every
is
video
going to
is
make
comments.
us better.
Right. Comments are the number one
yeah.
thing that I want out of this.
Yeah. So like anything that you feel we're doing bad or that we could be doing better, let us know, because that's only going to make us better in the long run, and that's why we want to. And that's all we want to do for you guys. I mean, like we want to create content that people want to watch and enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but specifically
100%
about
agree.
Nintendo.
Right. And this one
No.
is, obviously, Nintendo Nation is specifically about Nintendo. So hopefully you Nintendo fans are
Yeah.
out there watching this. But yeah, absolutely, 100%. Like Bryan said, let us know what you think, whether it's good or bad or neutral or whatever. You have any comments, concerns, questions, anything. Let us know. You want to hear us talk about something? Go for it. Put it down there. Tweet at us. Do whatever. Like, get in contact with us if you like what we're doing. Absolutely, just so we can get
Was
some feedback.
2064? Was that our topic of the show?
Yeah, that's a good topic. I don't know. We're gonna rework the whole topic. I think Nintendo Nation's due for an overhaul.
We work a little bit.
Yeah, we'll figure it out though. But I think that was a good topic.
We gotta come up with something then. What were you doing? You weren't doing Shrine of the Week.
I was doing Shrine of the Week, and then I stopped it, and then it
was Play of the Week.
Then it changed to Play of the Week, and then Play of the Week was like, hey, what have you been playing lately? Nintendo themed.
Yeah.
But then it turned into Ryan hasn't turned on his Switch in 3 weeks, and it's like, okay, cool. He's still only 10 hours into Zelda.
Yeah.
All this stuff, and it's like whatever. But it played a ton of Mario Kart. But it's like you can only say, yeah, I beat Grand Prix Mario Kart, so many times.
Yeah. So
then that changes something. So I want to do something else of the week.
We need something
but then
for
I don't
this
know.
week, though. We need something for this show because we didn't really have anything. So we're gonna have to think of something here on the fly while we're live. We're not live, but
Yeah, Andy, come up with something. What should we talk about? Yeah.
Meme of the week.
meme
Of the week.
Okay.
Okay, absolutely.
Meme of the
100% of meme of the week is my absolute favorite meme that I've seen, and I already brought it up. But Dat Boi. Do you know who Dat Boi is?
I
I've
do.
said it literally in 30 other videos.
I do. I know, but see, I'm not a huge. I mean, I know memes. I witness them all the day.
I adore the memes.
But
I do it for the memes.
I don't know where Dat Boi
Even some
came
people
from.
say.
I don't know
What?
where I don't know where Dat Boi came from. I know who he is, but I don't know where this whole
Dat Boi was
where
like
this
that
whole craze
old
started.
School, no, Dat Boi was like that old school super pixely Windows 95 little GIF frog thing riding the unicycle, whatever, really old school. And then it came back, and I forget why it came back.
Right, I knew, but why did it come back? I don't remember.
I have no idea, but we're gonna find out. And it's I love it though because it is hilarious, and it's just everything you see, it's just popped up so much lately, and everything that I've done, in other videos that I've watched, people have Dat Boi as their
Sure.
as their profile picture and stuff.
My vote goes towards the Kirby one that we just saw.
That Kirby one was hilarious.
Yeah.
But see, it's I don't. Is that a meme? What does a
could
meme mean?
It could be.
Oh yeah, these memes are driving me cray cray.
Yeah.
Here we go though. We're gonna.
Yeah, I would vote for the Kirby one, to
All
be
right,
honest.
Dat Boi, a colloquial pronunciation of that boy, is a nickname given to a 3D character model of a green frog riding a unicycle, typically accompanied by catchphrases like "Here comes Dat Boi" or "Oh shit, what up?" is Dat Boi. That went viral on social media in early 2016.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Origin. In July 2014, Funny Junk user, can't even pronounce that, posted a photoshopped image identifying a young boy named Dat Boi as the most wanted criminal arrested as Dat Boi. So it's a picture of this little boy with a fake afro and a very badly photoshopped mustache. Underneath it says Dat Boi.
Gotcha.
In June 2015, Tumblr user so-and-so submitted a post with the message, "Here comes Dat Boi," followed by a picture of the video game character Pac-Man with the caption, "Oh shit, what up?"
It should have been
shown
Mario.
below. It should have been Mario. Because of the mustache.
It would have all came back full circle.
I know. Although the original was posted and removed, Reblogs managed to accumulate 75,800 notes in the next year, which I guess is a lot. So then, on April 23rd, 2016, the Facebook page Fresh Memes, about the Mojave Desert and other delectable cuisines, that's the whole name of the thing, Fresh Memes about the Mojave Desert and other delectable cuisines, posted an image of a green frog riding a unicycle with the caption, "Here comes Dat Boi, oh shit, what up?" shown below. The frog graphic originates from the Animation Factory Essential Collection 3.
Gotcha.
There you go. So
That's the
is
history.
where,
That's the history of Dat Boi.
So that is where Dat Boi comes from. Who is now in Mario Odyssey, is the star of the
now,
Mario
do we know
Odyssey
that
trailer.
is that really Dat Boi?
It is not Dat Boi because it's not riding a unicycle, but they should put it in there just because it'd be hilarious. And I just love Dat, and I love saying Dat Boi, and I think that's where it comes from.
Sure.
So there you go. You
Meme
have
of the
it.
week. Meme of the
Meme of the week. Tied it back into Nintendo because we're awesome like that, and we know how to do things like that. And yeah, anything else?
No.
Maybe meme of the week stays because that was.
But see,
fun.
I feel like there could be more than just like if you guys aren't gonna do, because I'm usually not on Nintendo Nation. I'm just here because Ryan isn't able to be here today.
I killed him.
He's actually down here.
Right?
Somewhere.
Yeah, we stuffed him under the table.
But you guys could just add on like different segments. Like you
Absolutely.
keep meme of the week. Do something.
Oh, absolutely.
Else.
That was what we were trying
Song
to do.
of the week.
Yeah, we were trying to do that, and then we were trying to figure out like a better format for it and all this stuff. And so yeah, we've been talking so much about like what we want to do, where the future of the show
goes. Topic
goes.
of the show could be incorporated into the news.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we were even talking about topic of the show being like a separate video.
Sure.
Only in that like the one we did with Christian, like where Pokemon like was the topic,
Yeah.
and he was talking about sitting on the dock swinging his feet
Yeah.
playing Pokemon. You know what I mean? Like that was such a great story.
Check that video out by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was such a great story. But it's buried so far within the news where it's like if people are only here for the news, they click off right at the top of the show. Or if they want top of the shows, then they have to scrub through and do all that stuff. So it's like, well, we might as well separate it.
Which we
and
have been
figure out
doing.
something else.
We've been breaking it up.
Which we've been
Yeah.
doing.
We've been
We're
breaking it
waiting
up.
for feedback on that as well. Let us know. And if anything we've said here today, you have any comments, concerns,
Like we
questions
upload
on, let
everything
us
as like
know.
one
But
giant video.
yeah, and then
we break it up. Yeah.
Split it out into like separate,
Yep.
not necessarily topics, but like separate mini videos.
Yep.
So check that out. Let us know what you think about that.
And I just want to say, while we've been recording, there's been like a moving brigade.
Yeah,
going on
massive
behind us.
construction happening, and I don't know why, but I can't wait to see what comes of it. So, with that,
Yeah.
I have nothing more to add.
No, we're done.
This was great week for the news.
Yeah.
Again, let us know what you thought in the comments
Yeah.
down below. Subscribe, please,
Did
and
you?
like the
Speaking
videos.
of,
all
actually,
that.
I
Oh
do
my God,
want
what?
to. Yeah, I do have something. The Dragon Quest 11 direct that was in Japan.
Yeah.
I think that happened today. Did you watch it by chance?
I did not because I was at work all day.
I didn't
had
either,
a
and I
hell
was
of a
hoping you
day.
did.
Nope. Well,
I think it was just the it was just a couple hours ago, but like it was going to be what is different from Dragon Quest 11 on the 3DS.
and
And compared to like what's on PS4, because it's not a different game, but it looks so different.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. Well,
I want to play both.
Yeah, well, you know what? You're just gonna have to wait till next week to
Yeah,
find
we'll
out
actually watch
when
it and
I
figure out
finally
what the hell
talk
it was
about it,
about.
right, and watch it. So, or maybe we'll do a separate video. I don't know. Who knows? We'll figure it out. We'll
Because
let
I
you
am
know.
super
Keep your eyes
excited
glued.
for that game.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be great, and
like, that is
I
my
can't wait to
most
play it on
anticipated
Switch. I'm super
JRPG.
excited to play it on Switch.
And
I
they
think
did
really
say
good.
it's coming to Switch. We just
Yeah.
don't know when it's coming to Switch.
Yeah, I know, but that's cool.
Like
I can
usual.
wait. I can wait.
Like
I got
usual.
10 bajillion things I want to play. So, with that, this has been Nintendo Nation. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I seriously almost said washing instead of watching. So,
Thank you for watching.
yeah, thank you for watching. It's cool like Watch Dogs. Also, remember, at GamerGreggy, tweet at him, show him some love, show even some
What exactly do you
greater
want
love.
them to say?
I want them to. So this is the format of the tweet that I want.
Sure.
I want it to be this video.
Because I don't know that you've ever specified what they should say.
Really, all you need to say is at Falukaduke, which is my Twitter handle, which is at the description of every single one of these videos. And if that's what you want your tweet to be, just do that.
Just
him
just
click
tweet
on
in
it
your
and
tag.
Just tweet in my tag if you want. Tweet in my tag and be like, hey, dude, this random dude keeps talking about you and calling you out on the internet. Like, you need to shut him up or you need to do something. Like, I just want some kind of interaction.
What if we get him on the
Like,
show?
That's what I'm saying. I want him to talk to me, and then it's like, then I want to be like, hey, I have an interview for you. Like, can we do an interview? Like, you already talked to me. Can we get an interview set up?
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like something. I don't know. I'm just trying to get my foot in the door, and this is the
What
only
if
way
he
I know
shows up,
how.
like, right there?
If we put him there, we'll just put a green screen there, put him in there. It can happen. All right. So
We have the technology.
Right,
here.
exactly. We can do it. But so even if you just tweet him this video and put, hey, Duke says what up, or be like, oh shit, what up, Dat Boi. Do whatever you want to do. Just make sure my handle is in it and his handle, and that's the bare minimum.
Sure.
All right. But at FL_Nintendo,
Yeah.
that you need to
Show
tweet
him
out,
some love.
watch
Yeah, show
his
him some love.
videos, and be like, dude, this shit is great. Do more of it. He puts out like one video a month, and like I want it to be so much more. But obviously, like I understand he's a very busy man.
Yeah,
we all
that
are. You know, we
stuff
all have
probably
things going on
takes
in life.
quite a bit of
yes,
time
his
to
stuff
do.
though is It's such good production quality, and it's like everything he does, like you can tell he cares about these franchises and cares about Nintendo, and it is so deep and so wonderful. So absolutely, follow him on Twitter. You know, tell him, hey, you know, tell him we sent you there,
tell him
and that you
SuperGen
love
sent you.
all of his stuff that he does because it is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
With that, this has been
Nintendo
Nation. Right. I think I've said it like 12 times.
Episode
I don't know,
16.
16. Yeah, it is 16.
16.
Yep. So thanks for watching. Are you sure? Maybe I thought it was 17.
I think it's 16.
Okay. I don't know. It's 16 or 17. Probably 16 because Bryan knows better than I do. But
Even though I'm not on the show.
Yeah. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And have a great weekend.
See ya.
Or week. Hey guys, thanks for watching that video. I hope you liked it. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like and subscribe because that would be awesome. And if you're interested, check out our other videos here, and subscribe over there. Really helps us out. I appreciate it. Catch you in the next one.